What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Ty, and I got my son Derek here with me, and we're just going to kind of talk about a few things here. What I wanted to talk about today in this video is the second part, I guess, to our arrival here in Mexico. So we arrived in Mérida, Mexico, at an Airbnb that I had booked prior to the move. Once we arrived into the Airbnb, oh my gosh, so opening the doors, everything was so light and airy. It was similar to the pictures that I had seen, from me booking. And so it was, good to see that, it wasn't anything crazy. It wasn't a scam. Now, walking in, immediately we noticed a lot of things that are different from the United States. One thing in particular was the kitchen. The kitchen was tiny, and not all Mexican kitchens are tiny, but this particular Airbnb for us was almost like the opening to our experiences. It was kind of like this was our first sight of Mexico. So the kitchen was small. It was like one sink type kitchens, and everything was just tiny. There was no cabinets. Everything was open. It was like open shelving. The bathrooms were different. This particular bathroom, it was just one floor, and then the shower, or just a flat surface. So the tub or the shower and the toilet was all like on one little flat surface. That was a little different for me. And some other little things like the water pressure was different. The windows, seeing all the bars and the gates for us was a little bit different. The area, like I said, that we ended up in at this Airbnb, it was just kind of like our first peek at Mérida, and we weren't sure, like, is this how everything is, or is it just the area that we're in? It was very I liked being in that type of area. It was a busy area. You saw a lot of houses with big gates, or big concrete walls. You couldn't really see, what was past the wall.
They got like the glass on top too.
Yeah, so there were a lot of things that were different, and we ventured out. I remember that night we went out and we walked, and we probably should have stayed home because we got lost.
Yeah.
We were so exhausted, and the streets are so different, and with it being night, we walked around for, a good hour lost trying to find our Airbnb. So that whole experience was crazy. But each day we got a little bit more comfortable. We started venturing out, and that's when we got our first experience with the Six and Oxo, which are like little convenience stores. It's look like a gas station, but no gas. So walking back from there, we would still get lost even in the daytime. When we first arrived, we arrived at the hottest time of the year. And so we would be out walking sometimes, and I guess it was the heat. We knew exactly where to go, but we would still get lost. Even, like I said, it would be a straight shot, and you would get turned around, and the next thing you know, it's like, oh my God, where are we at? There's a 360 app that my family member told me about that has been very helpful with keeping track of your location or getting to whatever destination. It's called Life 360. But the Airbnb experience was, with it being our first Airbnb, I think it was a really good experience. Now, there were a lot of ants. That was the first time experiencing all the ants, and it's like a different type of ant. They just be everywhere. You couldn't leave anything anywhere in that Airbnb because there would be ants everywhere. Getting used to the AC. In the United States, we have like the central air, and in the Airbnb, there was, I think there was an air conditioner in each room, and then there was one in the living room. We had it on like full blast the whole time we were there. I think the lowest is 16, and I remember,
Yeah, I was right around 16.
yeah, we could
Yeah,
see
definitely
like the
year-round.
cold air coming out of the vents. That's how cold we kept it. So that was crazy. But we stayed in that Airbnb for a week. And the plan was to come here and find a house, and we expected to have a house within a week. I hadn't booked anything past that Airbnb, so we needed to find something. Again, I worked with Cortez Ross at Move Abroad, moveabroad.com. Move Abroad and Thrive. I'm sorry, Move Abroad and Thrive.com. Definitely check him out. But I worked with him, and when we got here, he already had places set up for us to go and visit to see, if we liked the house, and we would, with the intentions of renting out something ASAP. So we looked at probably about 3 or 4 houses. Now, this house we were supposed to see like the next day, but somehow or another the guy called us and he was like, hey, you come on now, you come and look at it if you want to. So pulling up to this house, there were other houses that we had looked at. There was a house that was like off the street, and there was like a little OXO right next to it. It was pretty busy. Everything was right there in walking distance. But for me, with my little children, my 7 and 11-year-old daughters, I wanted something a little bit more secluded. So when we pulled up to this one, it was a gated community, with the gate person. They let us in, and then it was kind of off to the side. That was like a plus for me from the start. Once we walked in, it was just like, oh my gosh, for me, we've lived in, I think probably the nicest house that we lived in was probably in Jacksonville. Again, stepping out on faith, I moved me and my whole family to Jacksonville, North Carolina, and we lived in a beautiful house. I actually lived there, and my mother and father, when my mother was living, they lived in this house as well. It was a beautiful upstairs and downstairs. So, we've lived in nice houses, but this house was just, it was like breathtaking. First of all, it was already fully furnished. I've never in my life, rented or even heard about homes that come fully furnished. So when we walked in and we saw all the furniture already here, it was like, oh my God, we were very just shocked and surprised. Everything was nice and clean, and well decorated. And it was huge. Again, we moved from a trailer, just a regular single trailer. And so when we walked in and we saw all of the space and then all of the outdoor space, it was just like a no-brainer. I wanted to jump on it as soon as possible. It was like I didn't want to, let the opportunity, slide. So we immediately went ahead and put the deposit down. And the house, it actually wasn't even ready. The owners or whoever was living here prior, they already had like all this stuff, and they were saying, it may take a week before they even get everything cleaned out for us to move. And I'm like, look, I just got a few more days left, so we need to move in ASAP. It all worked out. We got here on a Monday. I think it was June 9th, on a Monday. And that following Monday, we had moved into our house. So a week in the Airbnb, and then a week later, we're in our house. So it was just like, wow. I still sometimes, it's hard to believe like we did this, and, a lot of people, our family and things, it was just great to be able to, call back home or relay information back to them like, yes, we found a house, we good, we have somewhere to stay. That was just like, check, what's next? So the whole experience on finding a house, it was smooth for us, and I know for a fact that Cortez Ross made that process easy for us. And I'm just thankful and grateful that, I was able to book his service, and that he was quick, to find us something that worked for us. And, it's just been an amazing experience. Anything you want to say?
Dude, this makes. But yeah, I'm glad we found the house. We found the house really quick, and Cortez, like she said, helped us out a lot. Um, it's been pretty good. So even while we were in the Airbnb, I went to we were going to like the malls and stuff, and we ventured out. Where didn't y'all go to the Mayans?
Yeah, me and my dad, we went to the Mayan ruins. We did a lot of touristy things when we first arrived. We've been to all the malls. That was one of the things when we first arrived. We went, from Alta Brista to Grand Plaza, Uptown. We went to all the malls. We did a lot of the movie theaters, which are very inexpensive. They have different types, either, the regular, or if you want like a upgraded, you could get that type, and I think the seats and everything are, the fancy type seating. So we did a lot. We did the museum. We did the Mayan ruins.
The museum, the one we went to was free, wasn't it?
Yeah, a lot of the stuff is free. There's a zoo that we still haven't visited that has zebras and everything, and that's free. So a lot of the things, we did a lot of the touristy things, but I was also smart about it. I tried to look for things that was either free, or we could get like a package deal, and it wasn't that expensive. That's one thing that I can say is, y'all, we got here on a budget. And please, if you guys haven't already, please visit my website, book a consultation, tyanthabrown.com. If you want to know how you can make it, how you can plan, and if it's your if you want to move to Mexico or wherever you want to move to, I want to show you how you can do it too. I was on a budget, making a certain amount of money, and I was able to get here, and I did it in using a lot of my resources, doing a lot of different things that I've either learned, how to, as far as, there was a certain amount of things that you could pack. So I can show you how to pack more, just by how you pack it. There's a certain way that you can fold your clothes and make things fit. I can show you, we travel with my mother. She passed away, so we travel with her urn. A lot of people, may have questions about how you're able to travel with your loved ones that have passed away. Also being able to travel with children, young children. How did I do that? Anything.
The luggage, like weight and cost.
Oh yeah, that was, all of these things, how experiences have been learning lessons. And I could be that, instead of making the same mistakes that I made, let me share some of my resources, some of my tips, so that you don't have to make those same mistakes. And some of the things that I've learned that works for me, it may work for you as well. So again, visit the website, tyanthabrown.com, book a consultation, or if you find this information helpful or useful, please consider a donation. My Cash App is tyanthabrown.com, so it's $tyanthabrown.com. I also have a PayPal, and that's at tyanthabrown. You can also make donations there as well, and you'll see the donation little thing that you can book on my website as well. You can make a donation there as well at tyanthabrown.com. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you again for all of your support. Was there anything else that you would like to add? All right, guys. Well, that's it. Thank you. Peace.